Good morning. It's nice, brisk 35 degrees this morning. The sun's out. We're going to go ahead and get our vinyl siding on our power shed. What we're going to try to do is show you how to do things like J-channel, your corners, your starter strip, and then some of the techniques we use on the vinyl siding. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here, and we're going to get the J-channel around this entry door. And if you're not familiar what J-channel is, I'll see if I can get you a shot of the end of it right there. So it looks like a J, right? So this goes around things that you're going to side around, like windows or doors. Some of the newer windows have this, already installed in the window frame itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure our door, and then we're going to cut our J-channel a little long. So we know we're going to cut it about 90 inches, and you'll see how we deal with that in a little bit. So we're going to cut two pieces, 90 inches. And for cutting our vinyl, we like these Melco shears. They're big, 16 inches long, 14 inches long. You can get these at any of your favorite lumber yards. But it works really well for cutting vinyl. If you're doing a lot of it, you could set up some kind of saw table for blade backwards in your skill saw or something like that. Okay, and this is going to be the bottom of the J-channel. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to hang down below the siding by about 1/2 inch, and I don't want this corner with the nail strips in it to show. So I'm just going to cut that off at about a 45, like that. And then we're going to go ahead and mount this. I'll set this ladder out of the way so you can see a little better what we're doing. Our plywood is right here. We're going to hang down about 1 inch below the plywood. Right about there. Now on vinyl, you're not supposed to nail your siding really tight, because when it expands and contracts, it will buckle. On the accessories, I don't worry about that. And what I do is I also nail my accessories in the top of the slot, so the weight of the accessory can't haul it down over time. But I'll keep all of my nails in the top, and that way it can still expand and contract. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece of J-channel at the top of our door so it's ready to receive the piece that goes over the top of the door. So what I like to do is I take my pencil and make a mark right there in line with the top of the door, and I leave my last nail down a ways so I get room to work. And you could do this before you put the door on, but a lot of times you don't have your staging all the way up there yet. You're sort of working your way up. And then I chase right down this corner to where those meet, like that, and I leave it nice and long. I don't worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and nail this. And then you'll see what I'm going to do now is do roughly the same thing on this piece by coming down about 1.5 inches, and I'm going to cut that out of there like that. So now that's going to overlap the piece up there. We'll get back up there and show you what we're doing. Alright, so we've zoomed in here so you can see what we're doing. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark this one, the top one, we're going to mark it where it's flush with this side, and we're going to mark across the top of that one like that. And we're going to cut the top one right across like that. We're going to cut this one right up our pencil mark. And then what I like to do for cosmetics is I like to put a bit of a 45 on there, about like that. And then when that sits up in there, like that. It makes a nice neat finish. And we'll go ahead and nail that and move over into the same thing on the other side. Now we have to deal with our corners, our outside corners here. What we're going to do, in this case, we're going to cut a 2/12 pitch on the top of one side of it, hold it up, and we're going to mark the bottom. It's just easier than taking a tape measure to everything. So we're going to go ahead and get one cut of a 2/12 pitch. And we know that as we put that up there, it's going up like that. This is the side that has the pitch cut on it to follow the roof. So I'm going to set that over here. And I'm going to get my speed square. And I'm just going to mark a 2/12 pitch right off the face of it like that. Okay, now we're going to set it up in place. See if we've got enough. We're actually going to have to cut 6 inches off it to get it to fit up to the market. Alright, now we're going to set it up there in place. And it should fit up pretty nicely against our trim boards, just like that. And we're going to come down here, and you might not be able to see this real well on the camera, but we're going to make a mark where it's flush with the bottom of the sheathing on the wall. And we know we want to be 1.25 inches below that mark. So we're going to go ahead and set it up here. And take our square. After we mark it 1.25 inches, don't make a mistake and cut it on that mark like I almost did. Because you'll find in vinyl siding that these are the expensive pieces. The actual siding itself, not so bad. It's all the little pieces and parts you buy. And then when cutting this, I like to cut through my exposed flat on the J-channel first. And then I can come on the inside on my nailing flange and roll right up around. And this stuff does get brittle when it gets cold. So the colder it is out, the more careful you have to be about cutting this so you don't crack it. Okay, now just like on the J-channel, I don't want these nailing fins to be exposed, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a 45. And I say 45, I'm not checking it with the square, it's really just to get the nailing flange up in behind the siding out of the way. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Now we're going to put our corner back up where we want it. And what I like to do is I like to start in the middle, and this nailing flange affects the straightness of this side in line with the wall. So you can pull it in like that and you see it's rolled real bad. You can push it out and it's rolled real bad. So you sort of want to just get it square with the wall, up tight against the trim up top. And then I come around and do another one here, lining this up with the front wall, about like that. And I do one at the bottom the same way. All right, so that gets all of our corners on the building now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go around and put our starter strip on. So we'll explain that as we go. If you're doing this on a large house, the proper way to do it is to set up a transit, or at least measure up on each corner and snap a line. Ours is so short, we're going to use the plywood as a guide for our starter strip. So let me grab a piece. Sue's going to get set up to show us this side real well, and she's going to help me put a piece on. So we'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so starter strip is the piece that goes on the building. You'll see it's got a lip right here on the bottom, and it's got a little groove that the little siding locks up into. So this comes in plastic or metal depending on the manufacturer. Our local yard carries plastic. So we're going to go ahead and get this on there and get going on the siding. Really on my right. I'm going to do this on all four sides. So maybe Sue can zoom right in on this one and we can actually show you what we're doing real well. We're taking that flat lip on the bottom and we're holding it right up against the bottom of our sheathing, just like that. And then we're going to nail in the center of the groove. And again, I'm nailing my accessories up snug. I've never had a problem with those moving, and we'll show you how to nail loosely on the siding. All right, so that concludes getting our starter strip on. We're all set up now. All of our accessories are done. We don't have any windows. We had just the door. We do have a light going in, but we'll install it after the fact and show you how to do that. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get our box of siding out here and get set up, and we'll come back and show you some of the best practices and some of the techniques for putting on the actual vinyl siding. So hold on, we'll be right back.